how would you make a D&D character that is just all about the mental stats?
So what you're saying is you want to make like the ultimate thinker D&D character build?
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
I'm Nerdarchy Dave. Welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds.
I guess we should just think about this character build?
We're going to do more than think about it, Ted. We're actually going to build it. So, like we said, today we're doing the ultimate thinker character build. And this character is all about being really good at doing the mental skills like knowledges and things of that nature. You know, having strong mental fortitude, so they're very resistant when it comes to, you know, making saving throws against mental attacks.
So you might say they're resilient?
They may very well end up being resilient. They might actually have some access to spellcasting as well. We'll see what we've got going on because we've got some options here. But as always, when we do our character build guides, there's a couple things you need to know. One, we're going to do the character sheet and we're going to put it down in the description below. We make them over on D&D Beyond, so you can go look at it for free and check it out. You may or may not have to be logged in. I don't remember. I'm usually logged in. If you need to be logged in, it's not a big deal. You can sign up for a free account and check it out. Also, we're going to do a character build guide over on the Dungeon Masters Guild, which you can go over there, download it. It's going to be kind of step-by-step how we build this character. We also put a cool NPC in the back that you can use as the Dungeon Master as well. You can go download that for pay what you want. You can download it for free, or you can pay us $1 million. Just pay what you want. And I guess it's only fair to mention that this is a sponsored video by D&D Beyond. Go check them out. Power up your game. I don't know how we ever played Dungeons and Dragons without it before. So with that, let's jump into it. Let's build the ultimate thinker character build.
So for this one, we're going to look at our race options, and only two things really stood out for us, and that's going to be Gnome and Vedalken. High Elf might work because, they have that bonus to intelligence, but they didn't really make the cut for us.
Yeah, I mean, we want smart characters. These races both get bonuses to intelligence, but not only that, they both have increased mental fortitude when it comes to saving throws. One of them specifically against magic, and the other one is just in general. I mean, maybe we could have added Yanti because they get magic resistance, which covers everything, which would include the mentals, but only versus magical attacks. I don't know if there are any attacks in the game that would attack your mentals that isn't magical, but if there is, Yanti do not get that magic resistance against it.
So for our class options, we've got a number of them. We're looking at possibly Artificer, Cleric, Bard.
You could also consider Wizard, Monk, Rogue.
And we're also thinking about Ranger. There's a number of things that are all across these particular classes that we feel add to this particular build. So we'll see what winds up falling into the realm of this Ultimate Thinker.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we're looking at things that are either going to give us access to more skills, expertises. I guess you could even throw languages in there as well. More saving throws or mental saving throws as well. Several, I believe. I don't know if it's several or just at least one of the Ranger subclasses that eventually gives you access to will save. I believe it's Gloomstalker, Monk. Eventually you get, you're proficient in all your saving throws. So there's that as well. And then the other ones that we're picking, like their two good saves are generally in the mentals as well, because that's kind of important for this character build.
Indeed. So for our backgrounds, we've only got a couple that we feel, really hit the nail on the head. So we're looking at Sage, Archaeologist, and Anthropologist.
Again, we are looking to make a thinker. I mean, even like Clan Crafter, if you went with like a Tinkerer or something of that nature, might work as well.
So if you like these videos and possibly the articles over on nerdarchy.com and you'd like to help keep us making more, why not head over to Patreon and support us over there?
As a special thank you, every month you'll receive content for 5e, for DMs and players alike. We make races, subclasses, magic items, turn those magic items into print and play cards, drop in encounters, feats, and so much more. Also, you get a chance to game with us. There will be a link in the description or in this card up here that you can go over there, check it out. Also, there's a free download sampler that you can just see what we're doing for nothing.
So without further ado, let's dive into this character build and see, what we thought up.
All right, so I guess first of all, let's start off with our stats and see where we're going to go with that. So for our physicals, we're going to go with a strength of 10, a dex of 13, and a constitution of 12. We're not that physical right now, but, we're average or to above.
For our mentals, it's actually kind of easy. We got a 12 intelligence, a 13 wisdom, and a 14 charisma. Obviously, with this, we went with a point buy, and we definitely don't have anything in the upper tier threshold. But after we get our bonuses, we're pretty happy with what they look like.
So we are going to go with a Vehovec for our race, and that is going to give us a bonus to both intelligence and wisdom.
So this is going to have our mentals all starting at a 14. Pretty nice if if you're trying to be rounded out. Not spectacular for one particular class, but it'll work out.
But the other thing we're going to get from choosing the Vehovec as well is one, we are going to have advantage on all saving throws that are intelligence, wisdom, or charisma based. That's what we really wanted. But not only that, we get to pick a skill, and those skills tend to be more mentals anyway. And in addition to when we make a roll in that skill, we roll a die 4, and we can add it to that check. So it's like we always have guidance when using that specific thing. They're also amphibious, but doesn't really matter much for this unless we're making a marine biologist. We're not.
So for that skill, we're going to choose Arcana. We've got a tool set for this one. We felt it was, the more mental. We went with calligraphy tools.
Next up, we're going to pick a background, and this time we went with something we haven't used before, and we thought also might be useful for this particular character build and fit with it, and that is Anthropologist.
Now, this is always a weird thing with the way the character builder particularly works, is you choose your race, you choose your class, and you choose your background. So when we went ahead and began moving the pieces, the background skills that we actually would get from Anthropologist, we'd already gotten one of them. So we had to fill in the blanks here. So for this one, we're actually getting Insight and Investigation out of Anthropologist.
And then we're going to take Abyssal and Celestial for our languages. For race, we had gotten Draconic and Common, of course. So we figured we would take the odder languages for this particular character because we feel like they like to study things and they think about things.
Yeah, so this is, let the common folk deal with the, Elven, Dwarvish, Gnomish. We want the rare stuff.
Now we're going to go into our first character class, and we're going to start off with Cleric. And at first level with Cleric, you get your domain. We're going to take Knowledge.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer if you want to go down that road. We're going to get those saves in Wisdom and Charisma. We're going to get Medicine, and we're going to get Persuasion. But when we go into our domain, which we get right at first level, we're going to get History and Religion added, but we're also going to get expertise in those skills as well.
We're also going to get 2 more languages. We're going to take Deep Speech and Infernal. So now we got like all of the weird ones. As a cantrip, we get access to guidance, and of course, if we think making skill checks is important for this character, guidance is super useful. And because we're really focusing on more of the mental stats and mental skills, that generally means you're going to have more time for casting guidance before you need to, make these checks anyway, as opposed to some things like stealth or athletics where you might not have time for a guidance before, doing that action.
So from here, we're going to jump over into Bard for a number of levels. This is going to give us access to another skill right off the bat, which we chose Deception. We're going to get a musical instrument, and as we were building this character, we found some new options in D&D Beyond, so we thought, hey, let's select one of these new ones. I don't know where it came from, but we chose Bird Pipes.
Yeah, maybe when this character is sitting around thinking about thoughtful things, they like to play the bird pipes because, it calms them and helps their creativity flow.
And focuses their mind, as, many people who go off and sit in nature tend to do.
But we're not stopping there with Bard. We're going to actually take 4 levels of Bard because we want to get the 3rd level so we can get our subclass, as well as 4th level so we can get our first ASI.
So when we get to 3rd level in Bard, we're going to have that choice of what college do we take. And for this one, we're taking College of Eloquence. So what we're looking for out of that College of Eloquence Bard is that Silver Tongue. This is going to allow us for Deception and Persuasion rolls. Anything that is under a 10, we're just going to treat as a 10.
But not only that, we're a 3rd level Bard. That means we get access to expertise, and we're going to take Arcana and Persuasion, so making us even better at those things than we were before. We're also going to get access to 2nd level spells, which means we can take Enhance Ability. That means we can grab Advantage on one of our stats. For this character, I think it's mostly going to be their mental stats. So when we're making those skill checks, we can now do them with advantage.
So that Arcana is going to, just be boosted with the D4 and the expertise. Really nice. Persuasion, we've just got that expertise, but as Dave says, adding in.
I just wanted to bring up the fact that you could also cast guidance and get 2d4 on that Arcana check in addition.
That is true. Go ahead and bump things up as much as you need to, which is what all of this is about. When we get to 4th level Bard, we're going to get that first ASI. For here, we're going to take that Resilient that I kind of hinted at. We're going to choose Intelligence here, which this will give us now proficiency in all 3 of our mental saves, really locking down how strong our mind and our presence happens to be.
It's also going to push our intelligence to a 15. It's an odd number, though. Wah, wah.
We might have to do something about that one.
So from here, we're going to take 4 levels of Rogue, and right off the bat, first level, we're going to get access to another skill, Perception. We're also going to get Expertise again, and we're going to take that in Investigation and Insight.
Now, this is going to be really useful as we're still trying to hone the mind. We've gone and we've dabbled in a little bit of magic, but we realize that there's nothing like getting into the practical side of things, and we're going to be going into potentially dangerous areas. So getting a little bit of, shady training, any of that kind of stuff is really going to continue to hone our mind. But that's why we chose Rogue. Going to 3rd level, we're going to take Scout. This is another one of those no-brainer classes for us, because this is going to give us another 2 more skills of Nature and Survival with Expertise. We're going to pick up Cunning Action on the way, and then going to 4th level, we're going to wind up taking another ASI. And what's that going to be?
For that ASI, we are going to take a feat. We're going to take Skill Expert. It's a half feat. It's a +1 to our intelligence. We're also going to get Performance. Finally, we've got access to that. I feel like this character is probably more like an orator than other types of performance, and also Expertise. We're going to take that in Perception. Now, Ted mentioned, rogues are kind of shady, but I also see them as the expert class, the skill class. So I see this character as being less shady and more, skill-based, and, they're going to gain access to that stuff from being a rogue. They're a thinker. They know things. They're trained in a lot of different skills. Even a little bit of sneak attack damage they get might come from their medical training, more so than being shady. And, them being anthropologists and going out into the world and trying to study different people and cultures, they might find it useful to understand and know woodcraft in order to survive, maybe, when the cultures are a little bit more rustic.
I wasn't necessarily saying that they were being shady. I was just saying that they've gained enough experience in the world that they might have to be going into these dangerous and dark locales and dealing with shady individuals. So a little bit of extra training might come in handy.
From here on out, we've basically done everything we wanted to do as far as gaining skills and expertise, getting those good saves in our mentals. This character's mind is, a fortress at this point. So from here on out, we're just going to go Bard the rest of the way and just get better at doing those skills. I believe from here on out, we're going to take all ASIs as ability increases to our charisma.
So at 11th level, we're going to wind up, as we said, we're taking Bard the rest of the way. We're going to get access to universal speech. So this is going to be very useful for communicating with anything. And let's face it, as a eloquence Bard, we want to be able to persuade and deceive things. So being able to have people understand you and you understand them is super useful.
15th level, we're going to get access to expertise and 2 more skills. That is going to be medicine and deception.
This character will wind up picking up some magical secrets throughout the course of their progression. And we took some things that were kind of interesting, but nothing really seemed to nail down specifically what into this particular theme. You want to check out what choices we made? Go ahead and check out the character build guide.
By the time we hit 8th or 9th level, this character is completely done. Everything from there on is kind of gravy. I feel like we're hitting the marks even before then, and we're going to do the things that we wanted to do. I mean, close to the 4th or 5th level. So all in all, that part is awesome, and we've accomplished our goals. But the question is, how do you use this character as an NPC.
So I think as with all of the mental fortitude of this character, I see two different ways of this kind of coming across. Either this is a great NPC that's a resource, that's a go-to with all of this, mental fortitude and training. I could see this as a very kind of middle of the road in the alignment spectrum. So this could be someone that like exists kind of out there, and the characters never know how to approach them because, who knows what they're getting involved with, but they could be very useful with gathering information. Or this could totally be a mastermind behind things with that high charisma, that easy to deceive and persuade people. Could be lying their face off or just convincing you that they're really not all that bad. And they could be pulling the strings behind a lot of different things going on.
Yeah, I like this build for an NPC that characters need to go to negotiate with, get information from. I don't know that the mental fortitude is going to matter much for that aspect, but what will matter is they're very skill-based, they're very knowledgeable, and the fact that they're anthropologists means they probably move around and study different cultures, and this person just might be hard to find and get to, and oftentimes they're in out-of-the-way spots. The players may get a lead as to where this particular person is, and they have the information they need. They go there, but they've already moved on. So now you have to like totally do the Mario and the Princess is Another Castle with this NPC. So you might spend some time tracking them down and following them before you finally, are able to obtain the information you need. And when you do, they might like do weird things like make you partake in the culture that they happen to be studying at the time, and like getting this immersive experience whether you want it or not. But like this might just be one of their eccentricities that you have to deal with when you find them, and if you've dealt with them in the past, you might even be expecting it. It's just how they are. Let us know if you would play this build in your game, or if you would use the NPC in your game down in the comments below.
While you're down there, don't forget to do all those fun things like share, subscribe, even click on that notification bell. You know the drill.
Quick reminder, we drop new videos every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but hey, you can't wait till then. Come on back to the channel, and you can check out the card up here for the Rage Singer character build.
So until next time, stay nerdy.